When people think of the word myth, they generally think of the old myths of Greek gods, or they think of old fables like the tortoise and the hare. But myths are alive today. Myths live in our culture today, from our religions such as Christianity and Buddhism to the 6 films and counting Star Wars saga. And before I get ahead of myself, yes, there is a Star Wars religion called Jediism, and it's awesome. But there are many people who live under what some know as the mythic worldview. According to the Search for Meaning writer Dennis Ford, one of the big characteristics of living in a mythic worldview is that people will wholeheartedly believe in their myth. This doesn't just boil down to being aware of the myth existing. They will use their beliefs as a way to live their lives. Here's a clip from Easy A providing a perfect example of both the believer and the one who acknowledges that the myth exists. Mary Ann, played by Amanda Bynes, is the believer, while Olive, played by Emma Stone, is the one who's just aware of the myth and even pokes fun at it. Let's take a look.
What you heard in the bathroom the other day wasn't true at all. It's actually a funny story.
Olive. That's your name, right?
Yeah, and you're Mary Ann. We've had 9 classes together since kindergarten. 10, if you count Religion of Other Cultures, which you didn't because you called it science fiction and refused to go.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not the one that you have to answer to for your depraved behavior. There's a higher power that will judge you for your indecency.
Tom Cruise.
I hope for your sake that God has a sense of humor.
Oh, I have 17 years worth of anecdotal proof he does.
You've made your bed. I just hope for your sake that you've cleaned the sheets.
But believing in these myths is living in a state of almost ignorance because it makes it impossible to ask the question, why? These myths can have negative effects on how we all get along as well. Terrorist groups will kill people because they believe that's what they're meant to do. Christian groups oppose legalizing gay marriage because their Bible says that it's a big no-no for a man to be with another man. And Star Wars fans refuse to watch Star Trek because there's no way that Star Trek can be any better than Star Wars. But when you ask why to any of these questions, the response will always be, because my religion says so, or in the Star Wars Star Trek debacle, because my fandom says so. And that leaves some very narrow-minded thinking and puts a huge damper on the idea of progress.